Welcome back to Queen Me, Your Majesties. And if you are a new queen joining us, welcome. I'm your host, Queen Ash. And here in the Queen's Court, we are going to focus on faith, fashion, femininity, lifestyle, beauty, and class. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and press that bell notification so you will not miss our weekly Queen sessions. Today in the Queen's Court, we are going to talk about obstacles that can completely destroy your feminine journey, or obstacles and challenges that you are having that you feel as if the feminine journey is not for me. So go ahead and quickly grab a pad and pen and let's begin. This will be a two-part video because the things that we have to discuss in today's video, it is just way too much to put into one entire video. So we're gonna hit a few topics today in this particular video, and then later throughout the week we're gonna hit the next part of obstacles that could be hindering you in your feminine journey. So let's go ahead and start with topic number one. The first obstacle that may be slowing you down or hindering you in your feminine journey is, of course, idolizing. Yes, I said it. Idolizing. Now, what exactly is the term idol, and what do I mean by idolizing? An idol is basically someone that you admire, that you greatly enjoy, and kind of like someone that you look up to. It could be viewed as a role model, but the idea of idolizing gets a little bit eccentric or a little bit hectic when we start to revere this particular person with almost an obsession. Okay, so we're idolizing to a point in which we are completely obsessive with this particular person. All of a sudden, we want to know, what are these people wearing? Okay, what do they eat for dinner? What are they drinking? When do they pee or poop? Okay. That's a little excessive to some people, but to others, not so much. Okay, so that is typically what I mean about idolizing. So let's break this down into a scenario. All right, so the thing that I want to let you all know about me is that I absolutely I adore the Asian culture. All right, so particularly I love K-pop, K-dramas. I love Japanese dramas, Chinese dramas. I like the whole thing. So much so that I can cook kimchi, I can make onigiri, I can make any kind of Asian dish that you can think of. I know how to do that because I love and enjoy the Asian culture. However, the thing with this, and this is where the idolizing come in, and yes, at times, I am at fault for this as well, which I should not be. And this is something that I continue to work on each and every day. Now, the idolizing comes in when you're thinking to yourself, man, I wish I was like her. I wish I had her things. I wish I looked like her. I wish I had her lifestyle. And you start to glamorize and glorify this person so much that you become a comparison to that particular person. And the last time I checked, I'm African American. I'm not Asian. I'm of African descent. So I'm not Asian at all. Well, I haven't done a 23andMe, so I'm thinking there's no Asian cultures within me. But I'm not Asian. I consider myself of African descent. So I will never have the pale skin. I will never have the features of someone who would classify themselves as someone of an Asian descent. However, when you embed yourself, when you completely give a majority or a percentage of your time to a particular person or a particular thing, The phrase or the cliche, birds of a feather will flock together, that is what's essentially happening. You're slowly becoming or wanting to become that thing that you're emulating, that thing that you are essentially idolizing or worshiping. I will never, never look like Song Hye Kyo. I will never look like Jung Ji Hyun. I will never look like Dilraba. I will never look like or Komatsu Nana. I will never look like them. All right. And because I know and understand that I will never look like these absolutely beautiful, almost timeless women, because you get into a sense of idolizing, you start to think to yourself that, man, I wish I had their white skin. I wish I had their careers. I wish you start to really, if you consume yourself with K-pop, you consume yourself with K-dramas, you consume yourself with the world that these women are in, and this is your daily life over and over and over again, you start to take on the mentality that you want to be them. You want, everything that comes with being Komatsu Nana. Okay? So when you think about those things, that start to change and make an influence and an impact on the person that you are. Okay? And I know, because I'm not these individuals and I'm not in the place of becoming these individuals, I know that, of course, the men that I look at, these K-pop, J-pop men and things like that, I know they are definitely out of my league. I feel in my mind they are definitely out of my league because I do not look like the women that are on that same caliber as them. Now, that is a very defeating thought. And no, this is not a slam or a negative rant against K-pop or Chinese dramas or Japanese dramas or anything like that. No, not at all. Not at all. However, it is not my daily life. I'm not like some of the Nazis out here that literally can destroy someone's career because they are obsessed over these celebrities. Now, putting the Asian culture aside, that's even with R&B singers, rappers, things like that. Anything that you are attaching yourself to, and you may not physically see that you are worshiping and obsessing over them, but naturally you are. That is what I'm trying to get at the heart of. And if you are doing that, it is changing you. It is changing the person you can be and the person that you should be, because you're idolizing and worshiping these type of people. That is the same thing with money. Money can be something that people idolize as well. Like, have you asked yourself, oh, I will do this for money. I will do anything for money. I need money so much that I'm willing to do this, because I'm broke. I don't have any money. So I can see so many different scenarios popping into my mind on how I can literally change my life just because I'm in need of money. That is the idea about idolizing, where we misplace, we misplace our priorities and we place them on other things besides ourselves. Now, there's also such a thing as idolizing yourself. All right. We're not in the position of worshiping anyone or anything, unless it's God, of course. That's the only thing that we should be worshiping and we should honestly idolize is God, the one true living God. So with that out the way, idolizing is the first thing that could be hindering your walk. If if you find yourself looking in the mirror one day and you're saying to yourself, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I can never become a feminine woman, I can never do this, I can never do that, ask yourself, what are you idolizing? Because chances are you're comparing yourself to that idol, and that idol is not you. Okay? That idol is something else that you've put on a pedestal above yourself, and it shouldn't be there. So think about if you're idolizing yourself. Now, the next thing on the list that I want you to consider, of course, is appearance. Now, remember, if you did not watch my last video, go ahead and check that video out, Secrets to Becoming a Feminine Woman. I did talk about the good side of acceptance or appearance, I did talk about appearance in that particular video. I said that that was a double-edged sword. I told you all that that can be a good thing and it can also be a bad thing. For this particular video, we're going to talk about the negative effects of appearance. Now, the negative part of appearance can somehow be similar to our first idea of idolizing. All right. So when we're talking about appearance, we do not want to fixate ourselves on how we look. Now, it's important to look clean and polished. You do want to show that you are clean, polished, and approachable. You do want to give out that particular aura when you're around other people. However, we don't want to go overboard with our looks and the fact that that's the only thing when someone looks at us, that's the only thing that they think about. They look, oh yeah, she's a pretty little girl, or she's a beautiful woman, or she's a worthy queen. I mean, her hair is always done, nails always done, makeup always nice. You know, she's that girl. But when they come away from a conversation with you, all they can remember is a pretty face. All they can remember, oh, her nails were nice. All they can remember, her makeup was snatched. That's not the impression that we want to give. We want to give an impression that not only, okay, that queen is beautiful, presentable, and approachable, but she's also smart and intelligent. And I can hold a conversation with her. I'm more than just my beauty. I'm more than just my looks. Looks and appearance sometimes is very, can be very degrading sometimes, because if you're just looking at the aesthetics of a person, you've completely dehumanized them. You've literally dehumanized that person. We are not just our aesthetics. We are more than just our looks. So do not fixate yourself on your looks. Do not literally clean out your entire bank account because you want to dress a certain part. You want to spend your money on expensive clothes, expensive shoes, and this is coming for someone. Let me slow down, because this is coming from someone. I love to shop. I absolutely love to shop. I do have a bit of a shopping habit, which I am working on. This is the thing about growth. That growth mindset, if you don't know about the growth mindset, remember, go back to that first video. Now, this is something that I'm learning over and over again to control my spending habits, because I do have a hard time with this. I find myself in a position that I always want nice clothes, nice shoes, and things like that. But I also know and understand that I can't consistently and continuously buy all of these things, knowing that, honestly speaking, it is not logically possible for me to own so many clothes and expect to wear them all. That's just completely insane to think that. And that is something that we really have to work on. We don't need as many clothes as we think we do. We don't need bottles and bottles of makeup jars and all of those things like that. to prove or to give a sense of appearance or tone. Now, branding is a different story. When you're talking about appearance and you do want a certain brand, that is different. You know that you want to look clean and polished. You want to have a certain look. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're not going to make ourselves become beggars. We don't, because we want a particular outfit, and we're not going to walk into a room or walk into a conversation, and the only thing that an individual realizes about us is that, hey, we're just pretty. We're nothing else. We were beautiful. We've had an aesthetic that they liked, and there's nothing else to the imagination towards that individual. No, we're not going to present ourselves in that manner. So that is what I wanted to say about appearance. We're not going to put ourselves in a position where we're also idolizing appearance. The third thing that we're going to talk about that could be hindering your feminine journey or your feminine walk, of course, is the idea of consumption. Yes, I've said it, consumption. Notice how the first and second topics, we're just literally building off each other. So ask yourself, what are you consuming? What are you consuming? And the first thing that you're going to come to, you're going to think about food. Yes, food is one of those things, but food is not the only thing that I'm talking about. Think about the term consumption. That means to consume something, to ingest something, okay? To basically take in something. What are you consuming? What kind of music, okay? What things are you drinking? What TV shows are you watching? What movies? This is what I'm talking about with consumption. Are you eating unhealthily? If you're eating unhealthily, then you must know it is logical and common sense. If you're eating unhealthy, you know that you are going to be unhealthy internally. If you are drinking, and not just alcoholic beverages, if you're a person that drink nothing but juice, if you're drinking nothing but carbonated sodas, if you know that what you're drinking is not healthy for you, you have to logically know that internally that is also unhealthy for your body. Now, no, I am not trying to convict anyone here. No, I'm not trying to downgrade or degrade you and your journey. No, that is not the case here. We're all women. We're all queens. We are talking about the logistics here, the realities of life. And yes, I make the same mistakes as well. No one is perfect, my queens. No one. Let's just have this conversation with each other. No one is perfect. I make the same mistakes. But the difference of the whole matter is that, do you understand you're making a mistake? And are you trying to work towards progression? To kind of, you're progressing in that you're taking tools and measures to stop the reoccurrence of the things that you know is honestly poisoning you on the inside. What are you consuming? And the things that you're consuming, they're going to influence you. That's just natural here. Your environment, your surroundings, we're going to consume what surrounds us. And think about if that's slowing you down and hindering you. Think about, is your viewpoint changing because of something that you've watched, something that you've read, something that you've listened to? And that's very important to ask yourself. Why do you feel negative things about yourself? Why is it that you can't do the things that you wish to do? Is it because something around you, something you're consuming is influencing those thoughts? And if that's the case, you really need to look at that. You cannot grow or progress if those things are hindering you. So I'm not saying cut those things off like a chopped limb. No, battling your temptations, that's extremely hard. Battling sin, battling the world, battling things that are out there, that is extremely hard. It's going to take a lot to get over the things that's that's literally breaking you down. And the only thing I have to say for that, of course, you need to go back to the first video to watch that. I said God is the answer to them all. Okay, having a healthy prayer life, having a healthy Bible reading life, having a healthy fellowship life. This half of the issues that we're going through, now I'm not saying they're going to be completely eradicated. That's not possible. We're on earth and we're imperfect. We still have sin. They're not going to be eradicated, but half of the things we're going through can be solved through a healthy relationship with God. It really can. So if you're having these obstacles in your life, such as unhealthy consumption, think about what you're consuming. And I want you to write those things down. Write all of these things down. Write down the things you're idolizing. Write down things that you're fixated on regarding your appearance. Write down the things that you're consuming that you know is completely destroying and hurting you inside, that you can't progress in your journey. Write those things down and really contemplate and think on those things before you set up a whole entire plot, a whole entire system to combat and fight the things that are literally tearing down your feminine, your kingdom walk. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about today, and then I'll save the others for part 2. The last thing we're going to talk about is family. Yes, I've said it. Family. Actually, let's say family for part 2. Family is a long one. So we're going to say family for part 2. If you're liking today's video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Click that like button. And thank you, Your Majesties, for joining me today. That is today's court session. And I will see you guys later this week. Have a majestic and wonderful day. And as always, queens, go ahead and put on those crowns and reign. I love you all. See you in the next video. Bye.